this is Nick and welcome to my channel. So today I want to share with you how I store my clear stamps. So I've been doing this series called Around My Desk where I tour you around the stuff on my desk and how I organize my stuff. So a while ago you've seen a video of me panning my camera around my nook and you can see how messy it is, and the mess that you saw is actually the organized version of my desk. When it's not organized, it's just really a big mess. So today I want to share with you how I store my clear stamp. So I have 3 storages for my clear stamp, and I actually just use acrylic cases for them. So here's one of them. This is beside my desk. Sorry about this. I wasn't able to show you this a while ago because I didn't pan to the side, but this one is on this side of my desk. And these are my stamps that I mainly use for bullet journaling. So most of these stamps are icon stamps or calendar stamps, number stamps that I mainly use for bullet journaling. So I wanted them to be very accessible to me, so I just have them at the side. And also because I can't fit them in my other 2 storages. So this is one of them, and I also put bits and bobs inside. Whenever I'm working on something, I just put it in here so that it's accessible to me quickly. And I also put this acrylic block here because there's nowhere else to fit it. And then I have my Starbucks card here because I want to take this with me to the office, but I keep on forgetting, so it's there. And let me show you my other 2 cases. So all of them are actually acrylic. So here you can see it's acrylic, and I just put my stamps in. So this is my other 2. You can't see them because there's a lot of stamps and the clearance between my camera and my storage is actually small. So let me change the angle on this camera so you can see what this looks like. Okay, so I'm just holding my camera, so this is gonna be a little shaky, but I wanted to show you how it looks like. So there, my 3 containers. This is the one I showed you a while ago, and these 2 are of the same size. And let me take one and show you the side. So it's that long and this wide. And I don't know the exact dimensions of this. All I know is that I bought these 3 from Japan Home, and these actually stack. These are the acrylic, I don't know what to call them, growers acrylic bins from Japan Home Center, and they stack on top of each other. Let me show you real quick. This is one of them. Sorry it's a bit dark, but this is one of them here. And these are my ink cubes and ink pads, and I've shown you this in a previous video. I'll link to it down below. But these are part of a set or part of that line from Japan Home, and they all stack together. So this is like the large bins that they have for that acrylic. I think they're called acrylic cases in their packaging. So this one is those, and then this one also stacks this way. So if like you can stack it that way, although of course you can't stack them now because there's stuff on top of them. But if there weren't and everything were laying flat, they would stack together. So this is how I store mine. And so a while ago I told you this set is actually my bullet journaling set. So I have here stuff that I use for bullet journaling and journaling mainly. I have a lot of these Love Cynthia stamps, but these are the ones that I commonly use at home. So they're here. And then some other stuff. Some of my stamps I've rehomed into this makeshift stamp holder that I did because I wanted them to look kind of uniform. So there. So I have those several here. Most of them are really for bullet journaling. So most of these are icons and stuff. And some paper that I put there, and some icons. So these are all bullet journaling. And then these 2 big let's call them caddies, my stamp caddies, they are divided into 2 categories. One is like my favorite category, which is vintage, and also some floral and some watercolor stuff. So anything that I could use for a vintagey effect. So I could use florals for vintage, I could use watercolor for a vintage effect. So anything of a vintage effect, or I could use for a vintage effect or a shabby chic effect. It's all here on this one, so they're all grouped together there. And then on this side is all my cutesy stuff, so they're not, I can't use them for shabby chic, I can't use them for vintage. They're just really cute or very plain that I can't use for, again, for vintage, so they're here. So most of my Love Cynthia stamps are in this category because they are cutesy. My Lawn Fawn stamps, Mamile stamps, and some Chinese stamps that I got. And I hope I wish you could see them. But so there, these are Mamile, and this is some China stamp, drink stamps. And I also have some sets that have dies in them. I didn't separate the dies so that I know that they belong here. I'm still thinking if I should store this in my die kit or in my stamp kit. I'm still contemplating, but until I make a decision, they're staying here. So I have several of those, and also my Rosie's clear stamps. These are the first generation Rosie Studio stamps that were sold here in Manila 2 years ago. So when they first released, I got all of them, and I couldn't keep up with their stamps, and I started venturing into more expensive stamps by then. So I did not complete the set, but I do have several of them. They're not very good quality, but it's okay. I'll be doing a separate video discussing how to use clear stamps. I clearly have rubber stamps here, cling stamps. So some up here and some there. So most of my vintage stamps are actually I don't have cling rubber stamps that are not vintage type, so they're all here in this group. There, I have the big Prima ones. So there. So this is how I store them, and I'm actually out of space to store my stamps, so I should stop buying them. But that's a different story altogether. But there. So this is how I store mine, and let me know in the comments how you store yours and what kind of stamp collection do you have, if you have some, what kind of stamps you are collecting. And thank you for watching. Bye! So here are my clear stamps that I've collected over time. I think it took me 4 years to collect all of these, and these are a combination of my different clear and cling stamps that I've bought. You can see some of them are in their original packaging, some I've transferred into this Ziplock bag that I have, and the reason being is that I wanted them to be uniform in appearance, but over time I got lazy in making the white bagging for these, so I haven't had time to finish the project. If you're really interested in starting stamping on your journal or for card making, I would highly recommend going to Facebook and joining the stash groups, planner the stash groups or crafting the stash groups, and just buy secondhand instead of buying the cheap ones from Shopee or Lazada. It's actually better to use secondhand stamps. The stamping quality does not change over time, at least for photopolymer stamps, instead of buying the cheap ones where you're not sure about the quality of the stamp. So as I've shown you a while ago, some of them don't even stamp well, or some of them actually don't, the ink doesn't stick on the stamp very well, so it's another problem that you have to contend with. Although there's a solution for ink not sticking on the stamp, which is to sandpaper the stamp. I have that solution illustrated in my Facebook page if you want to visit. It's in an album there showing you step by step on how to make ink stick on your stamp. I'm trying to recreate that and make a video, but I haven't encountered a stamp recently that does that, so I haven't done the video yet. I will link to my Facebook post on that so that it's handy for you. Although ultimately, there's nothing really wrong with buying the generic clear stamps. You can buy it if that's what you really want. Just make sure that you're aware of the difference in quality, and so you won't be that disappointed. And also, be very aware that most of the generic clear stamps are actually a copy, or might have copyright infringement on their part because they are manufactured in China, and there are a lot of stamps manufactured in China by other artists, and then once their agreement expires, they start copying the work of these artists. Here I'm showing you my Love Cynthia collection. I think 80 or 90% of this I bought secondhand. So these stamps go for like 780 brand new. But when you buy the stash, the price goes almost half, sometimes lower depending on who's destashing their stamps. So again, 80% of this is not brand new. I bought them the stash, and there's no change in stamping quality. Some of them are stained, some of them are yellowed, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. At least with clear stamps, the stamping quality does not change. The Roses Studio line. National Bookstore carries it. It's branded, but the quality is not that good. I haven't bought their newer stamps, so I don't know if quality has improved over time, but their first generation stamps do not stick well with on the acrylic block, and they smell weird, and they're very greasy. So just to set your expectations. Vintage and shabby chic themed stamps. I have most of my stamps are from this kind of category, and I'm running out of space in putting them in my caddy and in my nook, so I should stop buying, but it's hard to stop. Most of my stamps in this collection are actually from the unbranded Chinese ones, and I haven't tried all of them. I haven't had a chance to try all of them. But so far, I have not encountered a very big problem with it, aside from the ones that I've showed you or told you a while ago. But then again, I haven't used everything, so I don't know yet how bad or good these are. Which is the property of that ink. For more information,
for literally layering, putting different stamps on top of each other to create a really good layer effect. It's nice to use on cards. And the perfect way to use them is to actually use a stamping press so that you can accurately stamp all the time. Here are some cling stamps that I got for like 300 bucks a set. They actually retail for almost 600 or 800 back then, but they went on sale, so I went on and grabbed a lot. I think there were 5 designs. I got 4 out of 5, maybe 6. I wasn't able to get everything because when we found out that it was on sale, a lot of people who love vintage themes actually went out to buy it. I got it from Gordo's back then when they were still carrying crafting stuff. And here are Prima Marketing Princesses stamps. They are very big cling stamps and I love using them for watercolor. Like I stamp them on watercolor paper and then color using watercolor because I'm not really good at making line art. So there. I love using that and making covers for my journals, my planners, and stuff like that. Stamps I bring with me every day. They are in my caddy or in my bag every day when I go to the office. These are icon stamps and frame stamps that I use on my bullet journal on a daily basis.